should have just done was turn my headphones up.
That might have
But,
helped a little bit.
but I don't want to do it too much because there would probably be some feedback on my end if I did. So
Possibly. That wouldn't be good.
yeah, I've had these issues before.
Classic streaming issues, right?
Heard too much. Purred too much.
All right. So here we are. We are in the midst of E3 2019. This is the JSS International E3 recap and commentary. I'm getting feedback.
Are we doing NPR voices or what's going on? Let's get some energy up in this piece. Woo! E3 motherfucker. Okay, wait. I don't know. Y'all.
No, continue. You're good.
Okay. No. I'm going to contain. Relax, relate, release.
Relate.
Yes.
I get
And
the
what we all
relax
can
and release
relate
part.
to, yes, what we all can relate to is video games.
Ah, yes. Okay, so yeah, we're here with the JSS International E3 recap and commentary. We've got our hosts here. Well, you know, we're hosting. I'm DJ Awesome Rob, and we've got our co-host SherrysJoy
Hello.
and special guest RoddyKat.
Hello. Good to
He
be
hails to
here.
us from the internet, and it's a good time. Good to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
For the two people that are listening live, hit us up in the chat. That's probably just me listening live. I think we dropped one. That was probably you, Rod, I assume. But anyway,
Eh, hey, best sometimes it's just best not to look.
it happens. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. I'm gonna close that window. All right. Yeah. Don't show that again. Cool. Okay. Um. So today's Tuesday, June 11th, day 3 of E3, day 2,
It's
depending on
day
how you
two.
look at it.
Well, it's technically day two. Like, I mean, I know the pressers or people count the pressers, but officially it's day two of the show.
Day.
Yeah, but it's not. But as the whole spectacle, it's not. It's probably like day three, I guess. Yeah.
Right. If you're EA, it might be day 4 because it started on Saturday.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
like kicking us
I
off
mean,
early.
that standard is usually the unofficial with whoever has the first presser. Which I don't know if did anybody actually count that one as a presser or not, because
It was long.
it was. It very much was.
It was Anthem. It was Apex. It was Battlefield. More Battlefield. A lot of
In fact,
FIFA and Madden.
I knew there was one I forgot to go back on to because I took some fairly extensive notes of all the ones. Well, not extensive. Let me not even lie like that. But I did take some notes out of all the ones that I watched, and I did watch that one, and I don't remember taking many notes or any notes.
Oh, they had the Jedi stuff, the Fallen Jedi
Well,
stuff.
yeah, that was where to start of. I do remember that because I remember going to that one specifically for that.
Hmm.
But outside of whatever else they had, because oh wait, that's right. Now I remember because they had freaking Greg Miller hosting, and they only had like four main sections, and only two that I cared about.
Greg Miller, as in kind of funny. Greg Miller.
As in kind of funny former IGN. Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. When I tuned in, they had like a bunch of shoutcasters and some
Well,
really annoying lady talking about The Sims.
yeah. So, well, yeah, because he wasn't like hosting the whole thing. I think he did the first section with Respawn.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then they had other people doing it, and then he like closed it out. And then I think he came in like in between sections,
All right. Well, that's
or at
good
least
for him. Maybe they,
yeah,
take him under their wing and
yeah,
make it somewhat less boring.
something like that. Whose whole shtick is yelling and taking your shirt off. Let me stop. That's not. He's actually. I shouldn't say that's not.
He's
That's not
kind of
nice.
funny.
Even if it is true, but you know. But that Star Wars thing, the 15 minutes that they showed of if we just jumping right into it though,
Sure.
that stuff I like. Obviously, this game has been, since they announced it last year, this has been something people have been looking forward to. Like, yeah, the loss of 1313 is something, and it looks like I'm kind of curious as the fact that some of what could have been 13 might be in his, because there was a somewhat of an Uncharted look or an Uncharted feel to some of the gameplay,
I could see that.
and also mixed with a little bit of Force Awakens. I mean, not Force Awakens, Force Unleashed. You know, with with Force powers also, obviously.
They'd have to do that.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a way. If there was a way to do it, it was probably going to have to be patterned after Force. I keep saying Force Awakens, Force Unleashed.
I feel like it would either be that or they try to rehash the Battlefront stuff, and they don't want to remember Battlefront.
I mean, and Battle. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that because you're talking about Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
which
Well, just the controversy part.
Well, yeah, there is that, but I mean, as it being a game, the game, from what I understand, wasn't that bad. Wasn't bad at all, actually, from accounts. You know, yeah, controversy aside,
Right.
but you know, there are a lot of games that's been getting way more flack than it actually needs lately. But that's just sadly the internet.
True.
You
What
know,
can you do?
easy to get riled up, like overly riled up, but you know.
The internet never forgets.
Well, they do, depending on what it is.
Right, and the price point.
Well, there's that, and you know, people people they invite to the cookout and all that kind of jazz. But that's a whole nother story and a whole nother field.
True, true. Was there anything else of note from EA?
Sims. I mean, I know there's a lot of Sims fans out there. That's that new expansion.
The island life thing.
Yeah, Island Adventure. Hey, you can be a mermaid now, and there's some island stuff and new clothes and stuff like that.
I guess that wasn't just for the for the for the for the trailer. Like, oh, you can be a mermaid for real. I
No,
didn't know
no,
that.
no, because they came out after that and was like, hey, yeah, that's they had a Q&A like right after they showed that, and it's like, hey, there you go, or at least that other section that was, you know, that was headed by somebody else, you know, that was like, all right, let's get to this. Can we be a mermaid? Yes. Wow.
But why?
Why not? You look, the
Okay,
game's
all right.
got. I
You're making
mean,
houses underwater now.
I don't think they've gone that far yet, but that would actually be kind of neat. And who's to say you couldn't? Who knows? I don't know the fact. But I mean, you know, like I said, you're island living, which means they're probably gonna have an island, which means you can either live off of it or live, you know, near it, near the ocean. I know they said you can. There's like at least another new job or something that you could do. You know,
Island cleanup.
like yeah, there's some conservation that's been to it. Um, and like I said, they said new clothes and some other stuff. But you know, in a game that's about, you know, simulating life, and it's got vampires and aliens and all that kind of stuff. Mermaid's not that big a stretch.
True, true. The the only other thing, I guess, out of the EA, I don't, I don't know. People like Madden. People like FIFA. This new year, new cover. I'm sure they say
Although
the same
they
things.
started to get me slightly bit excited because they mentioned like FIFA Street. And I'm like, okay, is that a roundabout way of saying that they're going to possibly give us an NBA Jam at some point? I mean, I know that's a stretch because they meant taking FIFA back to Street, and they showed that stuff, which was not actually FIFA Street, which is the game that actually happened. But they mentioned Street, and I was like, okay, are you teasing that? Are you teasing something? Like, are we getting back to that? But not really. So,
NBA Jam is midway acclaim. Is there a tie in there for EA?
I mean, NBA Jam or Street?
Jam.
Jam. I mean, well, I guess you could say Street is their jam. Like,
Well, I played NBA Jam. I've never played Street because there was
right.
NBA Jam. I don't know why.
Oh man, Street Volume 2 was great. Specifically, like 3 was alright. Well, one was like, okay, that was the first one. 2 was like is considered to be the classic one, and 3 was just like, it's more of that, and it was all right. But nah, 3 Street was Yeah, Street was great.
Okay.
Uh, I can safely say that. Like if
Well,
they just brought it back out, I would say just play some Street, some Street Two specifically.
I'm down for them making some new sports games. FIFA and Madden don't have to just come out every year.
Yeah, well, yes, they do because they don't have much else.
So
I mean, I
Apex,
say that, but they do because they got Respawn and they got Apex and do have actual stuff and Sims obviously, but
yeah, Apex
yeah,
is great, but all they did was new character, new season. They're trying to fix the season one issues,
mm-hmm.
and I guess
As
they're
they should.
forever beating on it, trying to boost up performance. But my little dual core is not having it. So I play it on the Xbox. It's okay. I like Apex. I like it better than any other like one versus 100 game,
Mm-hmm.
except for the actual one versus 100, which is great. They should totally bring that back. This would be the perfect time to do it. One versus 100 was the original battle royale, wasn't it?
I guess in a way it was, except for quiz style and not actually you know, people killing each other.
Right.
You know what? I never. I think I only played one versus 100 like once or twice, and I was like, yeah, this is neat. But I guess that's what HQ is pretty much doing now,
Right.
sorta.
And then that guy left.
And then that guy left, but their host they got after that, or at least I don't know if she's one of them. She's pretty lively.
I can't say. I uninstalled that months ago.
Yeah, I think I was sitting there waiting for somebody, and I was like, you know what? Hey, it's time for HQ. So I sat there, and it never fails. As soon as I start up, as
Hmm.
soon as it starts up, and answer one question, person came out. So I'm like, well, okay, well,
Yep.
gotta tank this. No money
Classic.
for us. Yeah,
All right. So that's
but
all the
anyway.
EA news. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry, let's get in the conversation a little bit, okay?
Oh,
Go
I'm
go go
sorry.
to
I didn't
Microsoft.
watch EA.
You didn't watch EA, but you have opinions on The Sims and the Jedi. Okay, what did you enjoy about the Microsoft
Oh, we're gonna
press
have
everything?
structure. Do we need some structure? I mean, because I didn't watch EA, so
Okay,
I don't even know when EA came on.
we're watching
Yeah,
it on
that's fine.
Saturday.
I think we may have passed
Yeah,
that one already.
that's fine. It was EA.
Yeah, and that was Saturday. I mean, that stuff is still out there if anybody wants to watch it. But there's, yeah.
I mean, I have Star Wars listed under Microsoft.
Well, yeah, because they showed they showed that under Microsoft. So yeah,
I played Star Wars Unleashed and I liked it very much. So actually, I think that was like a 6 hour game or something, and I
that sounds about right.
played it probably in 6 hours. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just like tooling around and just like, hey, I'm just gonna throw some stormtroopers off the side. Wee.
No, I did play that, and but no, what I never played was, I'm sorry, my computer is driving me insane. It keeps going, boom, 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 boom. Like I'm unplugging and plugging in USBs, and I'm
Right.
totally just not. It's
Okay, that
freaking
thing. Yeah,
annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. So I did like when I played it, I well no. So I did like Star Wars Unleashed. I liked that very much. I never did play Knights of the Old Republic. Apparently, like there's this huge spoiler, and I don't want to know what it is, even though the game is like I don't know 10, 15, 20 years old. I don't want to know
that's
what the spoiler is.
that is an old ass game. Yes,
Because maybe one day I'll play it. Because actually, isn't it BioWare?
it
And
is
I'm
Bioware. Yep,
Yeah.
all
early
about
Bioware.
BioWare, yes. So
Mhm.
I don't want to know the spoiler.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good to probably go into that one not knowing, even though I'm kind of surprised you haven't been spoiled. Actually, you kind of have, but I'm not going to say it. But
yeah, I probably have, and I just don't know.
which is fine
Um,
because it's best to go in that game not knowing
Yep.
because it kind of
right, it spoils like the whole game. So what I liked about Microsoft is like the biggest one that I always watch. Like I always watch. I mean, so okay, so E3, I love the way that it used to be. It was like you had all the smaller ones, your Ubisoft, your EA, your Bethesda, and all of that. But I absolutely enjoyed watching the three main ones, which were obviously Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, which that doesn't really happen these days.
Yeah, things are changing.
Things are changing, and that's quite all right. I mean, that's the way of the world. So as far as Microsoft, my hands down favorite, oh my god, stand up moment, like had to have been the ending. I mean, the Halo.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going with that, but okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you think I was going?
Well, we'll get to that. You go ahead and finish.
Okay, so so Halo is the first serious game I played. Xbox came out, the Xbox, whatever you guys want, whatever it's called, played. It came out, and like Halo was with it. And at the time, I was kind of used as a target. I mean, we streamed, strung up TVs. Like we had 5 rooms, or maybe not 5, but we had maybe 3 or 4. You do the whole. You need to connect the all of that stuff before Xbox Live came out, right? And we had like parties until like 2 a.m. Halo parties playing Slayer, playing everything. It was awesome with friends and cousins and all of that. It was like the best. And I played through the campaign on, I forget what it's called. Let's just call it hard, by
Legendary?
myself. And I was like, huh?
Legendary.
Maybe. Um, and it was like awesome. So I was like, yes. So then 2 came out and it was awesome, and I was like, yes. And then Halo 3 came out and it was awesome, and I was like, yes. And so, um, I'm all and then remember, I don't know who put it, had to have been Microsoft, put it out, the like the Halo movie thing. It was like exclusive
The
or
anime
something.
movie?
It was
Oh
like a
yeah.
2-parter. Right, that was like really awesome. It was like it was action. It was live.
Yeah,
It
the
was
something onto Dawn, I think, or something. I can't remember.
it was
Yeah. It
something.
was
I
on
don't remember
Netflix
either.
at some point.
Yeah,
But
I think it might still be on there.
it was. I saw it when it was on like Xbox Live or something
Well, yeah, they had it there too, but I think
originally.
it
Yeah, where
eventually
premiere.
came to Netflix.
So of course, Halo was my nostalgic fangirl moment. There are, like, I took notes of the whole entire thing. That's just because of what I do. And there are a couple that I did like in between. I called them Sherry approved games. And like the so and that came out. But then the second thing that came out, I was like, oh man. And what happened? Am I still here?
Yes.
My
You're
screen
still
went
here.
black. Oh.
Your screensaver's on.
I called it. It was like it started off looking like Alan Wakey and all of that, which again, that's a game I hate. And then I saw that it was like it was like mountainy, Alan Wakey, right? And then I saw that date in the bottom corner. It said 1996. I was like, did they just make a Blair Witch video game? Oh my god, they totally did! I totally nailed it. I totally called, and I will play that. I am very excited for that.
Who was asking for a Blair Witch game though? That's my
I don't
question.
know. I
No
don't know.
one. Well, so
Yeah, but I will play it. Like that was really cool. Like it looked really good. As long as it's not Alan Wakey, I will. I mean,
It
the game's
looked
Alan
Alan
Wake, but I'm
Wakey though.
saying Alan
well,
Wakey-ish.
so I got a theory about that. I'm thinking because of Death by Daylight
Oh.
and those kind of games. I'm wondering that is and that Friday the 13th game that happened
Yeah,
I hope
last
it's
year,
not
whatever.
like
I'm
that.
thinking that's probably why this got some traction.
But you're probably
And I
right.
maybe.
think this one may have been this one may have been slightly in the works for a while, but like just buried.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting
That's a good point.
for the Norman Reedus game to come out. They've been showing us
Death
that
Stranding.
6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then okay, then the Keanu Reeves game.
There we go. That's what I was hoping.
Who's the
That's what I was
Keanu
thinking you
Reeves
were thinking
game?
about.
Cyberpunk. I think I wrote it down as Cyberpunk. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. It comes out April 16th, 2020. I thought that was cool. That was cool. I was like, oh man, Keanu Reeves person well, actually, Keanu Reeves in the game.
Yes.
So I thought that was really cool too. And I thought that that was like a really good cameo. I feel like every year there's some sort of cameo, and I'm really upset. Not really upset, but I thought that it was a little disappointing that we didn't get to see like anyone play the games. Like, remember the year they brought Terry Crews on? Was it DMX or somebody?
Well,
They were playing like against
it
each
was
other.
Terry Crews on. Whoa, that thing. That was the Battlefield one.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Yeah,
Battlefield. Yeah,
Yeah, and
like
then with Jamie Foxx and all of them.
that was
Yeah.
yeah, and that was really
V3
cool. It was like I would have
and Wiz
loved to
Khalifa.
have seen, more
Yeah.
gameplay versus more like cutscenes
Zac
or
Efron. They did that for
So
whatever.
years, but nobody watched it.
yeah, I was about to say. I was going to say that. Yeah, they did that for years, and I'm thinking. So I'm thinking a couple of things. Like the Keanu Reeves thing was probably one that was something that I think. Well, not recent, but they didn't need Keanu Reeves to be in that game
No,
for it to have the hype that it was going to already have.
right.
But the fact that they did, and he's hot right now, and he's happened to be on stage, I
Yeah,
think that's pretty much all they needed.
right.
Whether that was calculated or that was just something that was already in the works, and it was like, well, since he's here, let's put him on stage. That kind of situation
Yeah,
Well,
for
why
the
would he
internet
be
to
there though?
freak on out.
but he was
What I'm saying, they asked him that one of them asked him to be there since he's in the games. What I'm saying,
right, of
Oh
course.
yeah, okay, true.
I feel like he was high. He was on something.
He
Like
looked
I mean, he kind of always
out of
seems
it.
like that right at this point.
no,
But
well, maybe I
I
don't
mean,
really
I'm not saying
understand.
out of it, but he's like if you ever seen any, especially recent interviews like that, kind of like that.
No,
I've
not that
never
part
seen
though.
any interviews. I don't think with him
Recent ones, yeah. Oh
When
yeah,
he was
he
like,
did.
ever.
"You're breathtaking," he almost fell, and then
Right.
he was like, "Well, here's the release date," and he points at the screen,
Yeah,
and he
I
almost
think that
toppled
he was
over.
high.
Yeah, he was on
I think he
something,
was on something. Either
or
that
He
or
might
he
have
had
been,
too much
or
smoke.
he's not like
not used to
I
standing
can't speak
around.
for dude, but he doesn't strike me as a person who's like
Also
used
true.
to crowd. Like he could be introverted to a certain point, but at the same time, he's probably was on something.
He could be awkward.
So
He,
exactly. So I think that awkwardness was because he's like I said. Let's look at some recent interviews of his, and he kind of comes off some of that same way, except for in a smaller room.
really?
To me, he does. Maybe like I said, that's why I was like, okay, yeah, he might be, but at the same time, like this is kind of him lately.
Well, here's my immediate thought. I don't know if he was Bill or Ted. I don't remember which one. But my immediate thought was, this is an older version. This is like Ted grown up
Well, I mean, they
or
are doing that
Bill
movie,
grown
so
up.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're doing that movie,
And it's them.
and I
Them
believe they
too?
have them too, and they have kids from
So
if I read it right.
do you think he was in character for that? Like, do you
No,
think
he's
that
just
he
no.
was? Oh, okay.
Well, first of all, it's Keanu Reeves. He's just being him.
I don't really know him like that.
Well,
Like
that's what I'm
I
saying. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really take much. You've seen him in John Wick. You've seen him in The Matrix. His acting really doesn't change that much.
Yeah. Also, I saw a thing on the internet where I think it was on Twitter. I probably retweeted it. There's like 8 movies where his name is John in the movie.
wow. So how he was acting is like how Johnny Depp acts as he is.
Exactly. I
So
think
like
I feel
that's
like we've
just
had
Johnny Depp. Oh, that's
exactly.
Yeah,
just
we
I feel like
have
we had
this.
this conversation before.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. We had it about Johnny Depp. I've never seen Keanu Reeves like in his own persona, like
Right.
as himself.
Like there was
Honestly, I've never. I don't even care. Like whatever.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Right. Like even there was one. I think there was a recent, not a very recent one, but there was one I saw fairly recent, like right after John Wick 3 came out, and it was him talking about because he owns a motorcycle shop. Which, not to get too far off topic of whatever, but he was talking about motorcycle, and even then he just seemed to come off like he was trying to be a little animated, which but he was just being him, but which a little slightly awkward, but but just being him. So
Well, they got
I don't know.
Johnny Mnemonic in a cyberpunk game. It'll be good.
Yes, exactly. And then somebody mentioned that. I was like, "Yep, there you go. It makes total sense." Which that game's,
It kind of does.
yeah. And that game, slight controversy that it had aside, that's a game that a lot of people have been looking forward to. Which me, kind of, sorta, because like a lot of people like The Witcher, which is those the same people.
Yeah, so last E3, Sherry was into the Cyberpunk game. This one, this year, not so much.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's
What,
I
the
don't.
same game?
Yeah, same game.
Hmm.
And I'm into it because I kind of missed out on The Witcher. I should just buy the third one when it goes on the Steam sale. But I have
And
one
yeah,
and
but
two, and I suck at it.
or on GOG, which is their stuff.
Yeah.
So they always have it on sale.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, I get the whole thing for 20, and they're still selling like the season pass. Like
I mean,
season
pretty
to
much.
what?
Yeah, you can get this. Yeah, there's a lot of content for those Witcher games,
It
and
is.
they cleaned up the first one, so they're if you are inclined, they will be probably are actually fairly cheap at this point, since it's around this time.
Yeah, and I s- I started three
Hmm.
a long time ago, but I don't own a copy. I just played on a on another friend's PlayStation.
Or it's on Game Pass, which that's another subject topic.
Wait,
I don't know if it actually is, but
no. Don't tell me it's been on Game Pass this whole time.
no, I don't. Well, I mean, the way they supposedly they cycle stuff out of Game Pass, so I don't think so. So even if it is now, it might not be later.
Yeah, they cycle stuff all the time. Now
So,
they might slow the cycling down because every other game on the show was a Game Pass game.
which that's a good thing. I mean, and it's not like all those games are going to come out all at the same time anyway. So that's like they announced four that was out that day,
Hmm.
which I'm sitting in. So I'm kind of half and half about Game Pass. Like it is definitely good if you like, all right, hey, if you want a bunch of games you want to play, and you're like, say, just getting into Xbox Live,
Hmm.
or your funds are kind of limited. That's a way to go about it, and especially with that Ultimate thing that they got now, because a lot of they got a lot of stuff that's play anywhere
Right.
or starting to. So they have the PC version of Game Pass. But I guess for somebody like me and probably yourselves who's been on Steam for a good while, and or have caught sales and or like say, whatever's on Xbox Live that you get for free,
Hmm.
the value, while still decent, but for the newer stuff that comes out, gets to be less and less. So it's like, well, it tends to be the stuff that you already have,
Yeah.
and maybe a couple that you could be curious about.
Right. So I think that's my issue. Like I have Game Pass and like I'll download a game that came out like Forza 4 came out day one. Oh, cool, awesome. I don't really have time to play it. So
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, cool, I can put a couple hours into this and then forget about it. Mortal Kombat 10's on there. I didn't get a chance to really play that, so I played a little bit of that.
MVC Infinite is on there, which they might still be on there, so I may try to check that out before they bounce it off.
Yeah, I tried that. I wasn't a fan. I
Yeah,
suck at those
I
games.
played the demo, so I knew I wasn't a fan then, but I was like, well, I can play through it now and less guilt.
Right. But something like Sea of Thieves, I'm way into Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Bought it before it was on Game Pass. That's definitely a great Game Pass game. Rocket League, same thing.
Hmm.
That's only a $20 game still. But you get
Hmm.
Sea of Thieves for 30. Um, but yeah, if you have a PC and an Xbox, kind of doesn't do too much.
Or it does. Like I said, it depends on
If you have a
how much you
great
have
PC and a
already.
crappy Xbox. Like I have a crappy
Well,
Xbox and a crappy PC, so it doesn't really help me. But if you have a great PC and a crappy Xbox, I
I
can tell
mean,
you
look,
that Xbox update that they did for PC is actually pretty good.
right. Well, I mean, like I wouldn't say crappy Xbox. If you got an Xbox, a lot of that stuff is built to run decently. Even on a standard. Like I've still got my old. Is it? I don't know if I had a no. Wasn't a launch, but an elite. So, and
Yeah.
it still works just fine. And like it still plays fairly well as far as there's load time here and there, but you got that on PS4, which but I've noticed. There's been a lot of talk, especially with what they said about that Project Scarlet stuff. Like, yeah, they're trying to get that down.
Um, what else? What's the other thing I was gonna say about that? The she didn't mute her microphone. The the Game Pass stuff is great. I guess
Hmm.
my issue. Well, how much is it? It's $15 a month, so it's only
Yes, but you can
$5
get
for regular
in.
Game
But
Pass.
you can get in now for $1. So okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Actually, the Game Pass Ultimate stuff.
Mhm.
So, which could be kind of confusing, sound kind of confusing, but
Yeah.
not necessarily. So you can, because I know they run deals on Game Pass, just solid Game Pass often for $1.
Yeah.
So you can get like up to 3 months for $1. Which if you just want to go in there and try it out, that's a pretty good deal. So now they have this Xbox Pass, Game Pass Ultimate thing that they're doing, and they're doing that same dollar deal. Now the difference between that and the Game Pass stuff is that it sounds like it's bundling Xbox Live, Game Pass, and Game Pass for PC all together.
Right.
And you can get in that, and if you already have, like say if you have, like if you just renewed your Xbox Live and you got like a year or 2 years of how much of it you re-upped for, if you get in with this dollar thing, or if you have like say a month of Game Pass. So if you got like a month of Game Pass and and another year of Xbox Live, if you get into this dollar thing for the ultimate deal, it sounds like that all stacks. So you basically get a year and a month plus whatever of this Game Pass thing. Actually, I think that might be it, but that of the Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, it stacks like
which is a pretty good deal.
Xbox Live Gold did. So if you bought a
Right.
year on a deal, and then you found another deal, and you bought another year, you could just add
Right.
on. It would just.
But it stacks all that together in one little bundle. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, after that it does go to the $15 a month, which that part right there is kind of a problem. If
they all do that though.
Well, yeah, this is true, but this is why I'm saying there's a problem is because like Xbox Live was $60 a year. Actually, I think didn't it go up to 70?
I don't think so. I don't think they've raised the price.
I don't know. I had been stacking game cards for a few years now, so it was irrelevant. But look, you find those deals online, you get them joints. In fact, I think there was a couple but regardless, $60 a year. Now this Game Pass thing is $15 a month. So if that is the case, $15 a month, and maybe my math is faulty as I don't know what, but 15 times 12 don't equal to any kind of good savings, as opposed to say $60 a year for just Xbox Live.
Well, it does include Xbox
15
Live
times 12 is $180.
That's what I'm saying. So opposed to $60 a year for just Live.
But I think what they're trying to say is the benefit is that you can do Game Pass on PC and your computer.
Yeah,
so how much is Game Pass is $10, right?
Yeah,
$10 a month. So $9.99 times 12, that's $118. Plus, how much is Gold? $60, right?
Right.
Okay, so Game Pass by itself is we'll call it $120 plus $60 for that's that's $60 plus $120. That's $179.88. Oh man, you saved 22 cents.
Well, yeah. I think the thing with Gold is that they could charge you $10 a month for that. I think it's $7.99 for a month now. It used to be 10, but nobody ever bought the single month at a time. You always buy 3 or more.
Exactly, or a year, because who would want to play a monthly thing? But so being with the numbers that Sherry just brought, so it's basically you're not really saving much on what you would already do. So in that case, that sounds like you're just basically breaking even on the Live. So the ultimate deal is probably a good deal after all.
But also, here's the thing though. Maybe not everyone can afford to pay that 180 or whatever up front. So, I mean, if you look to the average consumer, I guess we're like in the 30s. The average consumer for gaming is like 30, whatever. So, if you look at somebody, you see so what's more appealing? Seriously, like this is marketing here, I guess. What's more appealing? $180 for a year or $15 a month? I'm going to say the $15 a month because I know my budget and I know, oh my gosh, $15, that is not going to break me. That's not going to break me at all. But if I look at the overall picture and I say, oh man, I'm spending $180 a year, that's like with not to get off topic or anything, that's like our Sirius XM. We pay $25 a month for Sirius XM. That's $300 a year, where we could pay up front. We could pay $250 up front, one lump sum, and get 12 months just for $250. We save $50. I don't have $250 to just give to a radio station, but guess what? $25 a month fits in my budget.
Hmm. Which,
So
but that's pretty much, well, so yeah, it's the same thing but different. I see what you're saying. You're right, because yeah, somebody being able to plunk down a one-time,
Right.
300 as opposed to the $15, but at the same time, you're still pretty much paying the stuff. It's buried to the fact that it's monthly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also you're not losing money, because a lot of times when you pay a monthly subscription to something, subscription to something,
You get
you end
prescribed
up
the
paying a
games.
little bit more than
Right,
what you would if you pay it in one lump sum. So you're
right,
not really losing anything. If anything, you're saving like 22 cents, maybe a little bit more. So I mean, it's not a bad idea as far as budget wise, for anyone who's in like the same boat as I'm or we're in. We're not putting our financials out there. I'm just saying, like,
right.
as a you know
As adults, who adult, yes,
as adults, you know we do a lot of commuting. We live in a major city that's not cheap, and we have 2 kids and all kinds of activities. um the $15 would fit in our budget. Like, he's always saying, I could get rid of Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're only going to save $10. Like, that's only going to shave down our budget by $10. And then what happens? Then you got the 2 kids who, especially the one who really wants to be into it and play like Life is Strange and all these other things, where she won't be able to play it. She definitely takes advantage of it. And so, I mean, it's only saving us $10. What are we going to put towards $10 a month? Gas. We spend more than that in gas, so it's not really worth it to cancel it. Just keep it, kind of like the Netflix. And maybe that's the game. That's how they get you. They're like, oh man, it's only $10, it's only $20, not too bad, so let's waste these people's money, because they're going to say when they go to do their budget, not going to break you. So it's all about marketing, and it's all about tactic and everything, and it's all about looking at the average household.
Can I
And
jump in with another point?
okay, great. Sorry, I got on a soapbox. I'm done.
So the 15 takes out the $8 a month for Game Pass though. So you're
Right. So
taking
you
right.
out.
sit, and
So,
it's
I mean,
not
so
eight.
wait,
everything,
wait,
It's
wait, wait,
nine
right?
wait,
ninety
wait. No,
nine.
wait,
It's
wait,
a
wait,
big
wait.
bundle, right?
No, it takes out the $8 a month for gold. So you're getting gold included for free.
Right.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
really for
not
free.
for free, but yes.
It's included. It's like you're
So
paying the
to me,
five
that's a
dollars
good
extra
deal,
to get live
because you're
for
not. So
cheaper
because
than
what
it is.
happens? So for us, every June, like seriously, every June, what happens? Oh, it's time to rename Xbox Live. Okay, that's like $60. Wait a week. We'll do it next week. Wait until do it this, because what happens? It's in June. That's the beginning of the summer. We have to buy like summer clothes for everyone, family vacations, things like that. I'm like, Xbox Live can, it can wait. Gold can wait. And then he ends up getting it like a 3-month pass for $10 or whatever like that. This $15 gets you the Xbox Live for ever, as long as you're paying that 15. It gives you that. It gets it on the PC, I mean, Game Pass on PC and on Xbox. So
Hmm.
I mean, to me, it's a good value.
Yep.
It's a good value. You're
Hmm.
breaking, like you said, you're breaking even. If anything, like I said, you're saving 22 cents. It's not
Hmm.
costing you more. I actually like this idea. I actually really do. And it could be the budget analyst in me, I don't know, but I actually do like this idea, because it gives everybody the chance to at least buy it. Like, if you think about a teenager, they're not going to have $180 to just spend one time on this one thing. I mean, they might, or they might want to, but they're going to trade in a bunch of crap and get, swindled by their trade-ins or whatever. But with this, the $15 babysitting money or whatever money, they can afford it, possibly, or they can coerce their parents. Hey, mom and dad, it's only $15, please. Like,
Right.
it's because I'm looking at it as it's only $15, and look at the benefit that you get, and you get to keep it.
Right. And I think that is also what they're banking on, which
Right.
the numbers seem to bear out. Now, here's the I guess the one question, which is kind of it's a percent of a thing that won't affect a whole lot of people. what if you were one of these people that stacked up? Well, I guess you could just go ahead. Never mind, because I was about to say, what if you were one of these people that had stacks of like Xbox Gold cards laying around, banking on the fact that, well, if I I want to get in on this, but I still have this stuff going forward. So will I still be able to use that stuff? That's a question we don't really know. Now, I guess what you could do is, and if you do have any around, because I think I just did this with one, you put all those in, which means if you do have them already in and you're just saving them up, like, because I know I usually when my thing comes up, then I'll just renew again and just pop another card. I guess you could put all of those cards together and just keep, stack them and add them, because all that stuff will stack, get into this dollar deal, and all of that will still be in play. But when all that runs out, and granted, if you've got stacks of those things, then, well, not stacks, but if you've got a few of those things that can run you a few years, and you don't have to worry about this for a while, and then you won't have to worry about, dealing with this until they get something in place for, maybe they'll change the Xbox Live cards to, to deal with the Ultimate stuff,
Oh, they
Yeah.
will. That's just
So
a year out.
here's my huh?
That's just a year out.
Well, here's my thing about gift cards. So my father-in-law told me the most awesomest thing ever. He was like, when you go on a vacation and you're going somewhere, get gift cards for like food. So that way, prior to the trip, like save them up for X amount of months or weeks or whatever, save them up. And then that way, when you go on your trip, you don't have to worry about food because it's already paid for. You have these gift cards, but make sure you research the places in the area so you're not buying a gift card for some place that you can't go to because it's not there. So I think the gift card idea thing is great. Like, that's what we're doing now for our family trip we're taking, and it's gonna work, and it works. Like, if you're buying Xbox, or Microsoft gift cards or whatever gift cards, and you're stacking them so that you can pay your Xbox Gold. So why not buy? If I don't know if it's an option yet or not, but why not, if you have enough to buy the whole thing, the whole Game Pass thing, the 180 that we just spoke about, for a year, why not use the gift cards that you have and buy that for a year? Or
They don't sell it in a year for that particular reason. They want you to pay monthly.
Okay,
Well, no, they
well-
they do have them. However, it's just like, well, they may stop doing that because of this stuff now, though.
Yeah.
Because up until now, you have you can go to Amazon and buy 12 months of or you
Right.
could anyway, buy 12 months or 12 months either digital or physical card. Because that's how I was getting some of mine with, they do have that. It's just that they might be trying to phase that out now.
I'm pretty sure that you can load these onto your Xbox account.
Oh, you
and
totally
have
can.
it deducted monthly. So
Well-
load it onto your Xbox account, have the 15 deducted,
Right,
whatever.
that's
It
not
doesn't
the
matter.
problem.
So here's
Well,
the thing.
it's
So,
not gonna
okay,
deduct. It's basically gonna add on to your time. So that's all they're
Okay.
doing. Yeah.
all right, so fine. Shoot me down, whatever. So
No.
so
Shoot you
look
down,
at it
but
like this.
that's
Then look
not
at
the
it like
issue.
this. At it like this. You have these gift cards, whatever the total is. Let's say it's $300 in Microsoft gift cards. You do your 15 monthly for the Game Pass. You buy games with your gift cards. If anything, buy a damn game. Buy an in-app purchase. I don't know. Decorate your avatar. Whatever. I still don't see that it's a lose situation at all. I feel like it's a win-win. I mean,
Well, no, it's
you
not.
can-
But the cards I'm referring to are for like Xbox Live, not necessarily gift cards like you're speaking of. But you are
So you have
absolutely
Xbox Live gift cards. So are you saying
Well-
that?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so is there a different option for Game Pass? Like, okay, so they talked about the Ultimate, Game Pass Ultimate, but there has to be like, what about the people who have Xbox Live for the next year?
But
right?
that was the point I was talking about. So
Okay,
that's what.
so there has to be an option. They have to have some kind of option for Xbox Game Pass for just PC or just Xbox or together. There has to be some kind of option. They have to have options for their people. Does anyone know this? Has any of us researched it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They just dropped this, so they haven't
dropped
released.
this 3 days ago.
Right. and this
Right,
is an
but that
edge
doesn't
case
mean they have
situation.
everything in place on
Yeah.
that front on it.
Okay, so can we get mad at them or upset?
I mean, no,
No.
because I mean, nobody talking about
This is 3 days. This is 3 days new.
nobody's talking about getting mad at them, but we just want to know, like, how are they going to handle that going forward?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe they'll figure it out. Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
I would hope so, but
But drop like $80 in Xbox cards. You kind of
right.
want
But the
to.
point
I don't
is,
know. I just feel like there's a bunch of this for no reason. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna figure it out and it'll be fine.
maybe. I mean, we would hope that's the case, but like I said, it is something that was not addressed ahead, either ahead of time or at the point of when they started talking about this. So, and I'm not sure whether they even think about it at the time, but it is still a valid question. I think.
Yeah.
So, and even with the whole stacking thing, like that didn't come from them. Like I've seen people talking about, it's like, hey, you could do this, and it still counts toward, and then get into the Game Pass thing for the $1 and have it all your whole time. Like that came from out like Reddit or something, and not from them. So this basically came from people actually trying to do this and working with it. So, but it is what it is. Like I said, it is. We will see how it all shakes out with that stuff going forward, and again, that was a kind of an edge case that people would have that may still have like Xbox Live, cards laying around, because of this. So, but it is an edge case that, like I said, I'm kind of personally know about, which is why I brought it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So what else? Well, hold on a second.
Don't you have somebody that joined us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went. Why is he not?
I'm right here.
Hey,
Right.
there he is. Introducing special guest, Wormhole42, Wormhole Matt from the Planet Wormhole podcast.
How's it going?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You don't have
Thank
an
you
Xbox,
for joining us.
but you do have a PC. What are your thoughts on the Xbox Game Pass PC debacle?
I don't know.
All right, next topic.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about the whole Xbox thing.
Basically,
I mean, it is what it is. I feel like either you hate it or just don't care.
I have a question about that though. So if say you're only on PC, you don't have an Xbox. So
Really?
well, you might.
Well, this is I do there. I actually know a person that is
a PC and a PlayStation.
I feel like if you have a PlayStation, you don't necessarily have PC. Maybe you have a Mac.
True at all.
Maybe
I've got a PC and PS4.
See, perfect case.
You have no Xbox?
No
At
Xbox.
all?
No.
Any kind?
I mean, I know somebody who just strictly has a PC, period, and don't have a console.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then, guess what? PC gamers can now play Xbox on Game Pass.
You're missing out on what? Uncharted and Halo.
That's
now you can play
PS4.
Halo. So
Now you can do it. Now you can do it.
Yeah, I am very curious about how that Master Chief Collection is going to run on PC.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Look how long it took for them to migrate games over to the 360. Like, it took a while. I feel like it's gonna be fine. I think everybody just needs to chill, relax, sit back,
really,
because
I mean, it's there's topics of discussion that needs to come up. If they're not talking about it, it's not necessarily griping about it, but it is something that's something notable. That's all.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Halo run on like 5 different systems. 5 different kinds of Xboxes, and that's it.
Right. So, well, actually, but Sherry does bring up something that because the Game Pass for PC stuff is a little bit different as far as what's being offered as opposed to the Xbox Game Pass, because not everything is Play Anywhere that's on the Game Pass. So most of it's just like Xbox only, and then they have their Play Anywhere stuff. Now, obviously, because of the Game Pass, the Game Pass for PC stuff, that's going to change, and that is changing.
So does that mean that my child can play Life is Strange on her computer?
If it is offered in that, yes.
So whatever is on Xbox Pass now doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be on PC Pass.
Correct.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's going to be a game, PC Anywhere title, and whatever else they.
whatever other So I don't know. I feel like this is what am I trying to say? A work in the making or whatever.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, it just like literally they just told us about this like what 72 hours ago. I think that I don't know. I really like Microsoft, and I believe no, I'm serious. I believe them, and I really think that they are consumer driven, and I think that they're going to find ways to make it work for everybody. I just do. I just really do. I have faith in that, and I hope that they do.
That's
And
adorable.
that's
I love you for that.
where I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I don't mean to get heated in my beliefs. I'm just saying, like, I believe in what I believe, and that's just, hands down what it is.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm completely jaded because I want to believe him, but the history has shown that has gone back and forth between them and Sony for that matter. Of stuff they do and try to do and doesn't even plan out or doesn't work out or
what they say
screws
what
people.
happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to believe, but we're just kind of waiting to see what happens and if they're gonna make good. And Microsoft's PC track record for gaming has not been spotty at best, and that's probably being nice.
Yeah, the store is not great. They're working on it.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, the whole thing with the Xbox app on PC is terrible, but they've updated the stuff that makes cross-platform play a lot better. And
right.
That I can say is great. It took a while to get there, but it's working.
Right, and hopefully more of that to come.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask. So, I'm sorry. Do you want to go by Wormhole or your name?
Yeah, Matt's fine.
Matt's fine. Okay, great. I didn't want to put your name out there if you didn't want it out there. So when we talking about Microsoft as a non, Xbox player, did you watch the Microsoft conference?
I watched the Xbox. I guess that was Microsoft, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I watched most of that. Kind of had it playing in the background, but caught like a few of the glimpses of some of the things that are to come. But just not being an Xbox fan, but I am a Microsoft fan. So that's what's weird is that I build like custom built gaming PCs with Windows 10, and I'm all about Microsoft, as far as a platform for gaming on the PC. But when it comes to consoles, I've just always been stuck in this Japanese PlayStation land, it's hard for me. Like when the Xbox first came out, it was hard for me to get into it because I already had a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to spend the money to buy an Xbox. And then the 360 came out and I missed out on that. I bought a PS3, and then the PS4 and Xbox One. I actually bought an Xbox One and then put it into a raffle, and basically had a big raffle for Xbox One, like the system with I forgot what the main game was that was coming out with I think the white box, the system, but yeah, like being a fan of seeing what they were showing for Microsoft for Xbox. Then Keanu Reeves came on, and then I just was like, I was like, oh man, like there he is. He's like
in the flesh.
Bill and Ted.
Oh my God, ain't that what I said? Totally what I said.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, whoa.
You're breathtaking.
He was like stoned or something, yeah, for sure. So okay, and that's what I was saying. So I've always had a Nintendo growing up. Like I had a Nintendo when I was a kid or whatever like that. And then when I didn't have the Sega and all that stuff, so I went from Nintendo to a PlayStation, and I had I don't know, PlayStation 1. PS2 or PSP, whatever the heck, and then PlayStation 3 through high school, and then a little bit through college, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting beat. We're getting beat at this game. I need to practice this game, Halo. So I'm going to buy this Xbox. It's cost like $1 million. And I'm going to practice on you. You're going to be my target so that I can get better at this game. And then it was like, wow. And then, it took off from there. But also at the same time, I've always liked the PlayStation. Like, I am so intrigued. I love PlayStation games. My very first hardcore, I guess, if you will, PlayStation game was Heavy Rain, and or what do you call it, like RPG or open whatever game was that, and I loved it. It was awesome. It was amazing, and I was like totally hooked on being this like gamer person, and it was wonderful. However, I don't have a PlayStation anymore, and I would love to have one, but they just cost so damn much. It's like being a gamer really does. It gets expensive. So I can understand, like when I was younger, I didn't get it. Like how the average gamer is 35 to 45. Like I totally get it because you have to have like the finances to cover all of it, especially if you're a multi console, person. It costs a lot of money. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
Huh?
Or if you want to buy a PC.
A pizza?
Yes,
PC.
If you want to buy a pizza.
Oh yeah, a pizza.
A PC.
Gaming pizza.
Right. A lot of people crap on PC gaming. I did a lot of, I guess, PC gaming in college of Roller Coaster and Sims and Tropico and Black and White and all that counts. Zeus.
Actually, that reminds me of something that I want to, when we get to that point, there's a game that's coming out that's probably up your alley that you may have seen. But
Railroad Empires.
No, the Planet Zoo one, but
oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's from my friend.
I definitely love City Build.
Planet Coaster.
Oh, so speaking of which, didn't we see an Age? We saw, was that Bethesda? Am I jumping the gun?
No,
Age of Empires.
We forgot about
that was in. Oh, that was Microsoft.
That was yeah. So I was like, oh man, I tried to play this game on PC and it sucked. So. Ugh,
yeah, they're basically redoing Age of Empires 2, which I think that's probably from accounts their favorite one. I mean, their famous one, I guess.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I don't know what button I hit, but it installed Age of Empires on the computer.
So one more thing, and I'll be quiet for a little while. What I did like is the diversity of everything, but we're talking about Microsoft right now. So I like the diversity of the games. You have your hardcore games like your Halo, I guess your first person shooters or whatever. Then you have your, they had zombies or ghosts or whatever like that. You got that type of stuff. You have all of your genres, huh?
Your independent games.
Right, your independent games. You have your scary stuff. You have your shoot 'em dead stuff. And I also love how they kind of target family games or like kid-friendly stuff. So like Battletoads, Legend of Riot. No, I'm just saying. Like
no, I'm not laughing at you for that, but just the Battletoads thing in general. But,
well, yeah. But I mean,
play the hell out of that game on
right? Yeah, exactly. So they have, they focus on every genre, like, and make it, fun for everyone, and I like that. And then you had the Lego Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker thing. It's like Star Wars, also Lego. It's like kids, and and I really do appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to Deja Vu, or not Deja Vu, 12 Minutes. It's like a Deja Vu thing. That's cool. Really good too. So I mean, there's a lot of things that I am looking forward to, and there are a lot of things that Microsoft does that I appreciate, as far as genres and everything, and making sure everyone's covered. I am so glad like the Kinect thing is like dead and gone. I don't want to be a part of that like ever again.
Just Dance.
And the Zumba thing, no. So
they had another game coming out.
Yeah. So that's all. That's really all I have to say about Microsoft. So I'll let you guys talk more about that. I'll chime in more when we start talking about Bethesda if we get into that.
Yeah,
Well,
we can get into
actually,
Bethesda. What do you want to finish up with Xbox?
for me,
Yeah, you or Matt, either or.
well, yeah, I mean, I can, but Matt, you got something?
No, I don't really have anything left on the Xbox. I mean, I saw the whole thing, and I saw the whole. Keanu Reeves was on the Xbox thing, right?
Right.
He was
Did he make you want to
introducing.
buy an Xbox?
He made me. I don't know.
He makes people feel funny.
He made me like curious about the Cyberpunk 2077. But is that only going to be an Xbox thing, or is it going to be a PC?
No, it's all consoles. Yeah, that's on everything. Yeah, it's on PC too. So I think it's on PC too.
Yeah, PC. I'd assume Steam. Good old games.
Good old games. That's probably a good bet. I think Steam too, but yeah, I think in all consoles.
Yep. They have a physical edition that they're coming out with that looks ridiculous. Some special edition, all that crap. I'm into it, but I don't know. That might be a little bit more time.
Yeah, we'll see.
To invest. And the
See, I've
battle
just
pass,
gotten.
I don't know, that art style. I was not digging it.
Yeah, I've just gotten back into PC gaming, so like I've been on PlayStation for the last several years, and just recently built a new gaming PC, and I've been trying things out with it. So what I'm doing is experimenting, and obviously I've got a Windows PC, Windows 10, built with all the games. I got Steam and all this. I've built it around my graphics card, so that the PC. I inherited this graphics card, so I built a PC around it, and so I could get all the games online and play some of these cross-platform games that may be out for Xbox, but since I don't have one, I could, it's cross-platform, play it on PC, and then jump over onto the PS4 for whatever else I might be playing at the time.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any trailers for Dauntless, but
And I mean,
they
yeah, that was kind of already. Yeah, like that's kind of already in the wind. Even though there has been some stuff during the shows, like this is already out. Why are you showing this and no new content?
Classic.
No.
We need to fill 45 seconds.
I guess so it's like there's a trailer for a game that's already out and nothing's new coming for it. All right, so do your thing, I guess.
Just have the Mr. Big voice. You can play this today.
Oh, by the way, yeah, right. But so just to kind of clean up Microsoft, there's actually a couple of things that was kind of interesting to me. Like, the Microsoft Dungeons thing, like,
people are calling it, but I like the way that looked.
Right, people are calling it Diablo Craft, which that's totally it.
Okay.
The Outer Worlds, which is the Obsidian's thing, and that looks. I still need to see a little bit more than that, but that looks potentially curious.
That looked like Borderlands to me again.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Oh, Borderlands 3, of course. I think there's a couple of the places had that.
Yeah.
See, Spiritfarer, which is that cartoon looking game that they kind of show something with the little girl or whoever on the boat. Like the Astar was looking good.
That looked like Battleship Brigade to me. But different.
I can see that. Yeah, the art style kind of with the cartoon art style. I see that. Yeah. Then they flashed a bunch of games. There was another one called. Which one?
The one with the deer.
Yeah, Way of the Woods. Yeah, Way to the Woods rather. That one's interesting. I thought for a second I was like, wait, they put Tokyo Jungle on Xbox, but no, that's not it. Double Fine got bought by Microsoft.
Yeah,
that was crazy to me, because Double Fine has always been independent. Now they've worked with Microsoft in the past, and, so that's not out of the question. But it was like no one, as far as we know, no one saw that coming.
What was the game they made? Iron Fist.
It was called Trenched, but they had to change it to Iron Brigade. But they made like Psychonauts, Trenched, Iron Brigade,
I
Um,
knew there was some game that I did like from them, and that was it. But I couldn't ever
um,
beat it.
right. What was the Wavy Two Man Chronicles? I can't remember the other game from the gun something or other. But that
Oh,
was actually a decent game. That was a Connect game also. But they've made some pretty decent games.
yeah, the Connect games were good. The
Oh,
Happy Fun
Stacks.
Time
Stacked was
thing.
also them.
I didn't like Stacked, but I think I own Stacked.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just not again. That's one of those things. Like, yeah,
Yep.
you can breathe hard and you probably buy it. So
I didn't like Psychonauts. I bought it.
yeah. It was like, well, this is cheap. I got it. So and now there's going to be a Psychonauts 2. So
Right, I bought something and they gave me Psychonauts with it, and they wouldn't
yep.
take it back. So I guess I got it now.
Yeah. So, but that's good for them because, like I said, that's in especially seeing all of these, layoffs and stuff from other.
Yeah.
Not to saying that this would stop that, but
But
a pretty decent developer such as
Broken Age came out
Broken Age was
flop,
them also.
and it looked like they might be done.
No, I don't know who's so when they got a little bit of money, they don't have to really worry too much about money. My only problem with this is I really, really hope they don't get swallowed up like Rare did. Because for a whole time before they did Sea of Thieves, they were pretty much being relegated to doing avatars.
Yeah.
And granted, they did do that big bundle where they had all their old games, but I was like, okay, is this all Rare is going to be?
Yeah. I somehow bought that. Maybe it's on Game
Oh,
Pass.
well,
I don't even remember. But
I was about to say
got a battle
that's probably got that for gold. I think they had.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so that was that was good for them, and Tim Schafer was on stage, and being Tim Schafer. Brutal Legend, that was also them.
Brutal Legend, Jack Black.
So, so that's the thing. And like I said, y'all already mentioned 12 minutes. Gears 5, that's a thing that's happening.
No interest in Gears.
And the Terminator is going to be in Gears.
Less interest in the Terminator.
Which apparently the Terminator is a thing this year, because Terminator is going to be in another game too. Oh, the Xbox. Yeah. No. Is it going to be No. Wait, are they going to be in Mortal Kombat?
I heard Mortal Kombat. That might not be true.
I know they're in another game. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't know if we've gotten to it yet. It might be something from yesterday. Forza 4 stuff with the Lego stuff. They did the Hot Wheels thing last time. I was kind of into that. So the Lego stuff was like, sure, why not? Yeah. Because everything is awesome. Yeah.
Not going back to Forza for whatever reason.
You said you're not? Or
probably not.
I don't know. I hit the game every now and then. It's like, sure. Oh, the other crazy thing. PSO2 is finally coming to the States.
I don't have any affinity for it. I just know people love PSO.
So here's the thing about that, and I don't know, you may know the history behind it. So PSO originally came off on the Dreamcast, and been ported to, I think it was on GameCube or something like that, and then somewhere down the line after the Dreamcast ultimately died, sadly. There was supposed to be a part 3, which I think did come out on GameCube. One of those Nintendo was, I don't know, and it was a card game, whatever. But whatever. Skip to a few years, they did this. They did PSO2 online, and it was like, yeah, it's coming out everywhere. Blah blah blah. Well, it came out in Japan, came out in China, came out in some other places. It's coming to the States. It's coming to the States. They said this for a couple of years. There is, even when there was an English version for like some Southeast Asian place. An English version was already out there overseas, but never brought it to the States. So people were like me, were like, screw that game, fuck that game. Right. But then some people, some enterprising people did it. It's like, well, we're just going to go ahead and so you can, you can log into the Japanese version and do your thing there, and that's been going fairly strong. Probably still is going, but I don't know. I updated so I could check it, and then. And ever since then, like I think the last time was like 2012 is when they said it's like, yeah, it's coming to the States, and went just totally silent. Like I said, even when there was an English version already overseas somewhere, mind you.
Is that
so
like,
again, people like me was like, fuck it.
What's been longer, the PSO in English in the States, like officially, or Final Fantasy VII Remaster?
That's a hard one because if you think about that one, Kingdom Hearts 3, and they all ran a whole length of time. But probably PSO2, I think. I dare say PSO2. because at least PSO2 was actually out there somewhere. Like the Final Fantasy VII remix was like whispers and good intentions for a good 5 or 10 years. And they keep saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do it." Like I said, that was the whole thing. Like that one, Kingdom Hearts 3, which was also had a long development time, or then people were like, "Yeah, it's still coming, it's still coming, it's still coming," and people were like on pins and needles. PSO was kind of one of them, except for people were like, even some of the more hardcore people, quote unquote, were like, "All right, it's never coming to the States, just screw it." But then this happened, and I'm mad at myself because I was like, I saw this, was like, what the hell? There's like they're finally actually doing it. Like, so apparently, what I found out about this was it's coming to all platforms. It's going to be free to play, like it's always been. All the content's going to be there. It's coming out spring 2020. Apparently, Microsoft scooped PS4, the PlayStation, because of the fact that they announced it, because it's being localized, for here. Which, granted, it's not, because it was already being localized. It had already been localized. That's a whole side point. But the fact that it's coming out here and it's already been localized, and it's being localized, they got, Sony got scooped on, apparently. Or at least that's word around by it showing up at the Microsoft press conference. But Sony didn't show up this year, so yeah, that was kind of a surprise, and that seemed to be a part of a theme of an underlying theme of the C3, because I may have said in chat, there were some surprises that were still to be had, that weren't leaked. And some stuff that kind of came out of blue, which I guess one of them, well, the Keanu Reeves one, I think, was kind of out of blue also. But
I think their idea was, they said they started off, we got like 60 games and a bunch of exclusives.
Right. 34 games for Game Pass coming, 4 of them from today.
It's too many to leak.
Right.
Well, there's too much stuff to leak at once.
Right. Oh, and there was also, which this doesn't interest me all that much, but I know people were kind of whispering about that Elden Ring game, which was from Software and George R.R. Martin, because he can't finish his books, like the prevailing thing saying, but he can make this game.
Rob called it the Dark game.
Basically, yeah, because it's the same people that makes Dark Souls and George R.R. We don't know if it's actually going to be a Souls type game, because all they showed was a cinematic, but it's them. If they just go completely different, that would be a surprise.
Are they Bloodborne?
No, I think that might be someone different.
Are they Sekiro?
I think. Well, let me phrase that. Somebody like one of the main guys from the Dark Souls people did Bloodborne, but I don't think it was Blood. You know what? I can check real quick instead of just sitting here. And well, I mean, like there was somebody attached from the Bloodborne people, from Dark Souls people, but it wasn't from Software.
Okay.
And I'm going to check that out real quick, because I hate because somebody will be like, "You're wrong," because that's all I seem to get on my Twitters lately. So no, okay, so it is from Software, apparently. And let's see, yeah, Hideki Miyazawa. So yeah, it was them, and the guy was the head guy was from something else. So
yeah, I've never played the Dark Souls. I think I downloaded the first one and tried it.
I've tried. Yeah, I've tried. It's impenetrable to me. I'm like, all right, those people can have it, and those people who claim to be so lead at it are insufferable sometimes. It's like, hey, you just don't get it. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. No,
anyway,
I get it. It's kind of like the Rocket League thing. You come in.
Oh, there's no need to be a snotty asshole just because you're good at a game that some other people just don't either get or can't get.
Right.
There's no need for that.
But I can appreciate a game that's like, now you gotta kind of learn all this stuff.
Sure. Oh, I get that. Totally. But no, just so people.
The community doesn't have to be a dick about it.
Right. Anyway, that's my soapbox. So apologize for that.
All right.
But I think that's pretty much it for it, because the only other stuff they had up for that was the Halo Infinite stuff, the like I said, the new Elite controller and whatever they're talking about for that new console.
Yeah. Wait till I see it. Let me know next
Yeah,
year.
pretty much. Yeah, because then they were talking about some of that streaming stuff, which that's another little underlying thing that went through a couple of pressers. So I guess next is Bethesda.
Yep. We can spend 20 minutes on Bethesda. What else is out there? They had Nintendo today. What's the deal
Well,
with
yeah,
Sony?
to Nintendo was the last one. They're usually the last one.
Is there anything about Sony at all?
No,
Okay.
because they had their state of play thing like a week or so ago. And there was some rumor that they were some rumblings of whether they were going to do another one of those for E3, but I think that was it. Because they, like I said, they weren't going to show up at the show, so just
We're
I
not
guess they
coming and we ain't saying nothing.
basically
They
Yeah.
messed up. Nintendo,
maybe not.
Nintendo, we're not coming, and
But
we're
see,
gonna
that's just
give
it,
you a
though.
little USB stick and play this at this time.
But see, that's just it though. Like, well, and I didn't think I was going to get to this rant, but I guess I will. So the Nintendo pretty much started that on this side because Nintendo is basically the Apple of video games.
Yeah.
Like almost literally.
Yeah.
No,
they are.
Because and I say that because like just like Apple left CES because like, well, we're too big, we can do our own thing, and they sure enough did because they have the market share and the mind share to do that, and people, on them like I don't know what. Nintendo's got the same thing except for they got people's nostalgias all the way around on panties. So they started going off on their own. They're doing their directs a couple of years ago, and it's been working out for them. Now I don't know, and Sony's starting to do that now. That that's which is why people are saying it's like, well, this might start to be, and people have been saying E3 is going to die for years, but like, yeah, this might be the death throes for E3 because like it's like Nintendo's out doing their own thing and basically going straight to the public as opposed to coming to the show, and Sony may be trying to do the same thing because they're starting to do something, and other places have been like doing similar things, but they still at the show.
Yeah. Because you could make a show, you could make a pre-recorded thing and have Bowser and Bowser talk about and release that any day
I thought that was
any
cute.
day of the week. It was cute. It was cool. They have one.
They needed. You know what? Because people have been saying that they were just going to go ahead and capitalize on it. So
yeah, they might as well. Everybody else would. So they better them than anybody else. But yeah, they could do that any day of the week, and they decide.
Yeah, especially Nintendo, because like, hey, they can breathe. Hey, guess what? We're gonna talk about Smash for like 5 minutes. Bring your asses. and people come running.
Half of it was like, we don't have this game ready yet. You gotta wait a little bit longer.
Oh wait, so are we gonna get into the Nintendo stuff, or is that for tomorrow?
Did they have a thing?
Yeah,
they did their thing today. Yeah.
Was Reggie there?
No, Reggie retired. He's not. He's no longer going to be there anymore.
Then I don't care.
I'm gonna have to catch up on that. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah,
the Nintendo portion.
I will do. Yeah, all I would just say is like, for obviously this trades for like I said, Nintendo's trades on nostalgia. That's what people get there, and some people don't seem to understand that. Which even those who do was like, okay,
Tetris all.
Huh?
Tetris all day.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Actually, I need to get back to that. But so there is a couple of things that I've been on about for that. But like I said, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll
but
tomorrow. What are your thoughts on Bethesda? Are we putting Xbox to bed?
Yeah, Xbox is done. Like we've been talking about it for an hour and a half.
All right, what are your thoughts on Bethesda?
Okay, well, do a what's jank, and let's talk about Bethesda.
I did that. The segue was, what are your thoughts on Bethesda?
No, what's jank?
Devolver Digital.
Oh, the PC Gamer one?
A break. Do a break.
Do a break. We're not doing no break.
You gonna keep on rolling?
Yeah, we're gonna keep on rolling. We might as well go to 10:30.
All right, Bethesda. Yeah. So I still never played any Fallout movie, and I've always wanted to and have not.
Now you can.
Here's my thing. I'm gonna go through this really quick. Bless you. Elder Scrolls, I have it written down twice. Obviously, I want to play some damn Elder Scrolls.
You play it on your
Which
phone
one?
right now.
Well, the one that they were online is what they was talking about. Is like live now. Yay!
Is that free?
No, it's not. So it's basically buy in. You buy it and then it's just you pay for whatever expansions. There's no subscription.
All right,
Okay.
pause.
But you can, but there's
So-
like the Steam sale, you can get that for like $5 or something.
Cool.
All right, pause for the
I'm not
JSS
pausing.
International.
Yeah, who cares?
Hold on. The JSS International obligatory reference to the show that inspires the show. Those characters are in the game.
Great. So I only have probably nothing for Bethesda. I wrote down a bunch of notes. I don't have any Sherry approved games, meaning games I really have to play on Bethesda. I mean, except for Fallout. Like Fallout is just awesome. I don't even, I can't even explain how awesome and nostalgic that is. Haven't played any, and that's not my
You
fault.
kind of have to think about what Bethesda has.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at
and-
a certain point, yeah, because it's like, okay, Fallout,
Right,
yeah.
Fallout. All right,
Is
there's
it
gonna
going to
be
put
Fallout.
Skyrim on something else? Is it really going to be on Tokyo this time?
Right, and it's like, I didn't know Fallout. So for me, it's like, oh, Fallout is Bethesda. Okay, cool. Elder Scrolls. I'm sorry.
Right, half
An
an hour later, the
Elder
show is still
Scroll.
on.
Cool.
I know, right? And of course, they have Doom. So
Yeah, they got Doom
I mean,
now.
I don't know. We got Rage.
Rage finally came out.
well, yeah, that's been out for 3 weeks. So and it's like
They had a trailer for
Wolfenstein,
that.
yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I was
Actually,
like,
yeah. So there's 2 games for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to play that, but that
and-
was
The
a
one
new
we knew
announcement
about and the
too.
other one. Right, because the one we knew about, which was the Youngbloods, and that's for the kid. That's where the kids, BJ's kids, are going
Did you
trying
say
to
that
find
was
them.
for the kids?
Well, that
Yeah,
was a mistake.
not
Well,
for the
hey,
kids.
you know what? Nowadays there are kids that just, that it could actually be for the kids.
Well, here's the thing though. So for Wolfenstein, it's like the whole Call of Duty thing. Why is this on Nintendo? Like,
I mean, why is a lot of
this-
stuff on Nintendo? That's the bigger
Why?
question.
Like,
'Cause-
why put Call of Duty? I mean, I know it's like a whole nother topic.
Well,
But
no,
why
that's-
put these?
I can-
Why put these
I can
active
answer that
shooter
question.
games
I can
on
answer the question.
Nintendo? Like, I cut the shit.
I'm raising
Just
my hand.
stop.
I have an
Slap the
answer.
shit out of anyone who thinks of this.
I have an answer.
Stop putting the shit on Nintendo.
No,
So
I
here's
have
Stop
I
it.
have an
These
answer.
games don't
I
belong
feel like, I
on
think Rob's
Nintendo.
answer,
I have a good
and
answer.
mine may be similar,
He's
but
trying to answer, and I'm over talking him like he does to me all the time. It's fine.
Okay, so
What?
my answer is Nintendo used to be the forefront for gaming. You used to get a
Yeah, in
Mortal Kombat.
1980.
wait, what?
Nintendo and Sega had their beef with the Mortal Kombat. They used to make the top games, and then they got away from that with the Wii, and now they're trying to come back with the more adult-themed games to sell more systems. If you have a more diversify your bonds,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's the thing.
They put Call of Duty on the Wii.
No,
Well, it's
that
not
was
co-
terrible.
Wait,
But
did they
yeah,
put? They didn't
they
put
did.
Call of Duty on the Wii.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they
And
did.
you
Oh
get
God,
the
you're
gun
right. They did.
with
It was
the reload.
Modern Warfare.
Thank you. Thank
all right.
you.
Oh, I forgot about
Modern-
that.
Modern Warfare is a Call of Duty game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
That was
They did.
terrible.
It is-
And
It's like,
then they stopped
why?
doing that.
It's like,
Well, so here's the
why?
thing. I know some people who are again big Switch hit. Like everything needs to be on Switch, and if they're watching, which I seriously or listening, which I seriously doubt, they've already heard this.
Then go
Everything
ahead.
doesn't belong on the Switch, and like everything, like you know what? It's adorable. Like okay, yes, you have this thing that it's adorable. It's like hey, we want to appeal to the hardcore gamers, and yes, we have this thing that's probably not as powered as some of these other games. But hey, we can put this on here now for people who want this. I'm like, but here's the thing: half of the games that they put on there are games that have been out for years on other platforms. Skyrim,
That's
anyone?
true.
And any host of other names, and
Wait,
technically,
we
and
can't use
even the
Skyrim for that. They
Mortal
put
Kombat
Skyrim for
11 they
everything.
put. Well, that is true. Yeah. That is almost a can you run it situation like they did for Doom.
Yeah,
But we'll get back to that.
we should probably leave that. We don't need to get back to that. They shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's probably something for tomorrow anyway. But regardless, but the end of the fact is like even with like Mortal Kombat 11, and I've seen it being played on the Switch, it doesn't look that great. And not saying that graphics is everything, because clearly if it's playable, and I say that about like PC people with potato PCs or whatever, like if it's playable, it's playable. That should be enough for you, or that's good enough. But at the same time, like that thing's not that it's not that powerful to give you what you want out of. You're not getting everything out of that. That's just me. I don't know. But so back to but like I said, they're trying to appeal to a market that they don't necessarily have to. But at the same time, they're like, because their main complaint is like, well, people's main complaint about them, even though they buy stuff from them all the time, like there's not enough. And I was one of those people who's like, well, there was not enough games outside of the Mario stuff. Like you got a Mario game every other blue moon at that, or a Zelda game every other blue moon and that. Like, yeah, they came up with Splatoon, which is great and like that kind of stuff, but they're not just like hitting it with games like that for first party, which granted they don't have to, like I said, because people don't care about that kind of stuff. It's got a Mario on it, then they're all up on it. That's why we have Mario in the Olympics coming up. Anyway,
also a Sega game.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's sure, Sonic's there, but come on, we all know. But regardless, like the Nintendo fan base is not that. It's not that picky to a point, but at the same time, they want to appear to to people that say, well, we don't have a whole lot of games on the platform. Because if they didn't have all those other third-party games that's been out or whatever else, they would not have much.
Yeah, it would be
of anything.
What Mario, this Luigi craziness that they're doing,
and all of this stuff is not even coming anytime soon. Well, it's coming like later in the year, but it's still,
What's that thing?
So they have to have something in between that.
What's the tactics game that they made the mobile game for?
Wait, for Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh, the Mario Rabbids one.
No, they have that too, but what's that other thing? The
Fire Emblem?
Yeah, that thing. That's all they would have. They have Fire Emblem, Mario, Lame Luigi, and Zelda. And that's all they would have. And Donkey Kong would make an appearance every now and then. And they'd be like, this Mario Kart.
They got Smash now.
Yeah, Smash, yeah.
So there's that.
Everybody else on Smash. So if you got a third-party game, you can get Dual Guy in Smash. It's gonna be fine.
Hey, don't that could probably happen. You don't know.
That's going to happen. It's gonna be great.
Probably. They got Snake in there, so why not? But Bethesda though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, big pervert. Sure. World's greatest soldier. Sure. Anywho,
he loves the box.
Yes, that box. I see what you did there. Anyway, let me keep on moving. Deathloop. That one seems interesting, even though we don't know too much about it.
Is that like 12 minutes different?
No. Well, I guess kind of in a way, because there is some time stuff going on. So it's basically from the Dishonored folks. It's first-person action with the two black people. Yeah, which there's
2 black main characters in a video game. We're making progress.
Yeah, which can be good or can be bad depending on how they handle that. But we'll wait and see how that works out.
I mean,
yeah, but so it looks like a lot of shooting and force powers. I have in my notes force powers because there's a lot of like tech pushes and whatnot. So that looks like it, and being that it's from the Dishonored folks, that could be potentially good. Depending on how they do story stuff.
Yeah, that could be good.
And of course there's Doom Eternal coming, so it's Doom. Come on.
Yeah.
like what's really good. And the ESO stuff was like, okay, yes, so there's a new expansion for ESO Online, which I've probably been meaning to go back to that. And then, of course, that card game they got expansion to that. So all this stuff is kind of blah, blah, blah.
Which I looked at that card game is not new.
No, it's not. It's not. This is an expansion to that because that's been out since last E3.
Yeah, I looked at my thing. I was like, I've seen this before.
Right, but they want to call people's attention to it. Right. Because hey, guess what? Magic's doing their new. Well, Magic's got their game out now, and that's kind of doing its thing. Hearthstone's still big, so hey, we got to remind people that's our game is out there.
I tried, and
it wasn't a bad game, but it's just looks kind of a reminder of Hearthstone.
I'm just bad at card games.
No, I love them. I consider.
I see you on that Hearthstone all the time.
Yeah, that and a couple others, but so I really like those type of games. Because as a matter of fact, I don't know if this was. Wait, was this? Did we miss that from? No, okay, I think that was from the PC Gamer one, which I don't have too many notes on either. But there was a card game there called Griftlands that looks pretty cool. But yeah, outside of that, there's not really. Oh, There is one more awesome thing about the Bethesda presser. Ikumi Nakamura. And apparently the categories.
But no one else remembers.
So that is the young Japanese lady that got up on stage to talk about Ghostwire Tokyo, who was pretty much full of energy.
Yeah.
So, and people fell in love with her, you know.
Her. I don't
Yes.
remember anything else about whatever she
Well, that's what I'm saying. People remember more about her than the game she was up there talking about. So, which just like the Keanu Reeves thing, just kind of that was a spot of the show. So,
right.
But Ghostwire Tokyo, the game she was talking about, we still don't know too much about. It looks like it's kind of supernatural. It looks like you playing as Ronan or something. I don't know, but we didn't really get a whole lot of that outside of,
that was
her and
the people were disappearing out of their clothes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's like it was almost like the Snap, but not.
No spoilers.
Yeah. So, well, yeah.
We haven't watched that movie yet.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry.
So even
wait, did you see Infinity War?
Nope.
You haven't seen it? Oh, then I'm so sorry then.
I know what the Snap is. I don't
yeah. Okay.
That happened.
Sure.
It's all
well,
good.
that's like I wasn't gonna go any farther than that. But and then the other thing was surprise, a new Commander Keen.
That's a surprise. I don't even know who Commander Keen is.
That's just it. If you're under 40, you wouldn't know who Commander Keen is. And that's the thing. Which is why that was such a surprise, because I was like, why? What is going on here?
And that's a mobile game, right?
It is a mobile game. So Commander Keen was one of id's first, the makers of Doom's first PC games. Starred a kid named Biddy Blaze. So was saying he might have some relation to BJ Blazkowicz. We don't know if that's actually true, but games reference games all the time. So 1 + 1 = 3. So yeah, it's a new mobile game. This looks like it's for kids, and and it's a mobile game. That's based off an IP that's like older than a whole lot of gamers right now. Me aside, I guess, and probably a couple other people.
You gotta use the IP or you lose it.
Sure, there is that, but like I said, that one's been long since used, and I'm surprised it hasn't been low. But then again, it's been fairly protected for their IP. So
yeah.
But I'm thinking somebody just kind of went through the stacks and was like, "Hey, what is this? Well, maybe we can. Here's a here's a reboot we can do, and no one would expect it." And they're right.
Right. Rename that thing you were working on for a year.
Put it on mobile. We'll see it. And if it flies, maybe we'll do an actual game.
There you go. Make a.
Why is everything going mobile? It's like everything's going mobile.
I mean, mobile. So there's been a lot of that lately. Well, not a lot of that, I should say. But there's been some talk about that lately. Talking about people thinking that mobile gaming is not real gaming. It is because it is in the name, gaming. But it is viable. Like if you think about it, like the 3DS, the Switch, like that's pretty much mobile gaming. Also, that's not nothing to sneeze at. And it's big.
Yeah.
It continues to be big. I mean, at some point, people were like, well, we're not going to do for consoles. We're just going to do for mobile because everybody has a phone. So we don't have to worry about anybody selling to a specific console. That didn't work out all that great, but still. But it's still big, and it's still big in a lot of places,
Yeah. It's basically, two platforms to really work on. There's a lot of minutia in the Android side. But you're only making one game, and it's cross-platform already. And you put it out there, you're good to go. Put some ads in it, and you're making money.
Yeah, basically.
That's how games.
Hopefully that's how that works. Yeah. Well, something like that. The development don't work quite like that, but the marketing sure does.
Right.
And the publishing sure does.
The gigantic CG intro for Candy Crush, and what's the other one?
Yeah.
Clash Royale.
Clash Royale, which matter of fact, there is. I don't think that one is coming up. No, that's not coming up today too, because that's Ubisoft.
No, back up to the Xbox presser. The Gears Pop game,
right?
Funko Pop game is a what's that game?
That is also mobile, yes, and I think that's a tactics game. No, that's a clash. That's kind of a Clash Royale. Yeah, it's a Clash Royale game too. So, yeah, those games they have their niche. Who who knew? I've never really played one, but it's out there, and apparently a lot of people play them.
I tried it. I could see the appeal, but I can't get sucked into this.
But the Gears Funko one, I was like, huh, that's
Weird.
yeah, that's a weird mesh right there. But sure, why not? Funko Pops are big, and as folks were saying, it was like, well, we did have, stuff before this that was big. I'm drawing a blank right now, but Funkos are, people like Funkos. I like Funkos. Not everybody does, but I do.
They look weird, and they're like
I've got
overpriced.
a ton of them.
They're kind of generic, but yeah. So it's figures are at some point are still relatively big even for those. Lego, Lego is the other thing. It was like, well, Legos are a big thing. They got a whole bunch of Lego XYZ games.
Yep, exactly.
And that's still big. So
New Star
somebody
Wars
probably was
Lego
like, well, let's do this with Funko.
True. And this is probably what the first. It's probably not the first.
No, I think this is the first of a Funko branded game. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I think so.
And they took a game license to do it. So what would be next? Mario.
See, that's just it though, because Legos
games.
See, so I think the theory was like, well, shit, Lego's got all of the game licenses wrapped up, so Gears was probably one of the few they didn't.
Oh man.
For probably good reason.
Oh crap. We gotta lock this down.
Exactly, So again, going back to the Lego stuff in Forza Horizon.
Yep.
Like it's there now. But then again, they did the whole Hot Wheels thing last year, so that was a no-brainer also.
True. There's Hot Wheels in Rocket League.
Exactly.
Like Ghostbusters and what's the other thing? They're doing their whole summer thing.
The
Knight Rider.
Batmobile was,
Hot
but,
Rider.
oh yeah.
Yep, Knight Rider. They got a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Everything from the 80s.
Which, hey, if you're gonna do it, that seems logical, especially for Rocket League.
Yeah, don't miss your spot. Don't miss your time to do it. All right, we can go over the. We'll say what do we have for tomorrow? We got Nintendo. We got whatever scraps left over from Sony.
That's Ubisoft.
Gamer. We got Ubisoft.
Well, wait, PC Gamer was the first day, and there was Devolver was for that day. But I don't know. The only thing I can say about Devolver, the only thing I said is they're doing an arcade game for Into the Gungeon.
What?
Yeah, because they can. Well, it's also coming to consoles too, I think. But the arcade game is a 2-player light gun game. So who's seen one of those in a while? Again, surprised this E3 has had a whole lot of weird shit going on. I was like, wait a minute. Well, yes, them specifically, but even for them, and there's been some mini arcades that was announced during E3 also, like for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but that's a side point. Like,
yeah,
but
I saw that.
like Devolver doing something like this, and then they had that bootleg thing that apparently was a real thing.
And then they had you saw the can controller, the can controller from I think it was Miller.
I must have missed that part.
Miller Lite can controller, which is a working controller built into a beer
Weird.
can.
Devolver's weird as shit. I mean, their pressers are. God bless them in their games, but wow.
Yeah, they're weird.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, Square Enix also for that's for tomorrow. Like Square Enix, Ubisoft, and Nintendo. I think that's it.
Okay. We'll leave that for tomorrow. Let's see. Thank you, Matt, for jumping on the show. Promote yourself. 20 seconds, go.
All right, I'm Matt. Wormhole 42 in the gaming world, and part of the Wormhole Planet or Planet Wormhole podcast, starring me and my wife Rachel. Rachel, not Rach. Get off my planet. And, so, yeah, we have a podcast, and we now I'm doing gaming stuff and streaming on Twitch under Wormhole 42 or Planet Wormhole.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for coming on. All right, Rod, your turn.
First of all, I apologize for talking way too damn much. So, but you know,
Oh, we
sometimes
know
I get
that.
excited about things. But anyway, RoddyKat on Twitter and pretty much everywhere, like gaming, hey, if it's RoddyKat, that's probably it might be me. Don't look at the porn sites. That's probably not me. Don't do that, please. But yeah, RoddyKat on Twitter and every place. I got a Twitch account, but I don't really use it that much. I'm on a comic book podcast called Comic Book Chronicles, which I believe Matt, your wife was on well before I got on, like during the early days of the show, because I knew I remembered that name from somewhere. But anyway, yeah. Outside of that, yeah, I'm on Twitter pretty much a lot, and I got News There's Need, which is another Twitter account where I tweet out the news, and you know, I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe a site coming soon. Who knows?
Yeah, so RoddyKat 2 on the porn sites is definitely him. RoddyKat.
No.
It's not him. Don't follow those accounts. All right, so Miss SherrysJoy also with us today. Shout out your stuff, shout out your channel, shout out your show. What you got?
Hi, I am SherrysJoy, the quiet one, and you can find me on Twitter at SherrysJoy. Good luck. You can also find me on thedigicast.com. You can find me on my show Casual Conversation, which you can find that on scarcasmlive.com or thedigicast.com. And you can find me on Xbox as SherryBerry98. That's Sherry with 2 R's, 1 Y, like the wine, the normal way. And you can also catch me on Facebook at the Digicast /Facebook. And you can also contact me to be a guest on my show, Casual Conversation. Always looking for guests. Always a wonderful time. Love the world. Have a great evening. I'm looking at Back to the Future costumes because we're going to a Back to the Future party in 2 weeks and I don't have a costume yet. Yay!
Great Scott.
Exactly. Yeah, there's also a Back to the Future car in the Rocket League. But yeah, so for SherrysJoy, this is DJ Awesome Rob. We're signing off here. Thank you to my guests for showing up. It was a good time. So I hope you guys have fun. Maybe we'll hook up tomorrow and do a whole show together. It'll be great. If you want to check me out, I'm on all those things that Sherry just said.
I didn't shed them.
Don't shed those links. You gotta
Don't shed a tear.
Right. But you can find me on Twitter at AwesomeRob029, sloppygoals.thedigicast.com, and that the Facebook link was facebook.com/thedigicast. Maybe I should put some more stuff on there. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And check us out on Twitch. All the links will be in the things. And if this is up on YouTube, hit us up in the comments. Any final remarks, quips, or anything like that?
Nope.
Or forever hold your peace. Alrighty then. Peace up in the grill.
Love the world.
All right.